A man comes home from the hospital. He's just had a heart attack, a serious one. His doctors have told him in no uncertain terms what the rest of his life is going to look like now. It's going to be rest, no excitement, no cigars, no brandy, and a nurse to make sure he behaves. And within about 10 minutes of walking through his own front door, he's hiding cigars inside legal briefs, smuggling brandy into a flask of coca, and taking one of the cases that will most likely kill him. This is Sir Wilfrid Robarts in Billy Wilder's Witness for the Prosecution from 1957. Charles Laughton plays him. Now, Wilder wrote this whole sequence as being funny, as a comedy, and it is funny. But I've spent a long time sitting with people in the hardest moments of their lives, and I'm telling you, this is one of the most accurate portraits of a certain kind of patient I've ever seen on film. I'm Marty Gensius. This is one scene. Let's look at one scene from Witness for the Prosecution. Here's what you need to know. Witness for the Prosecution is a courtroom thriller. Famous ending. I'm not going to go anywhere near it, so if you haven't seen the film, you're safe. Go ahead and see it. It's a great film. Our man, Sir Wilfrid, is a legendary barrister, sharp, theatrical, completely in command of any room he walks into. That's who he is. That's the whole of how he understands himself. And our scene begins. That man has just been discharged from the hospital, handed a list of things that he's no longer allowed to do, and assigned a nurse, Miss Plimsoll, to enforce it. That's the setup. A man who has never in his life been managed is about to be managed. Now watch what happens when he gets home. There's a stair lift now, a little motorized chair installed to carry him up and down the staircase so his heart doesn't have to do it. He despises it. He treats this helpful machine like a personal insult, like something that's been done to him. There's cocoa. He's supposed to drink cocoa. He handles brandy and he hides it in his coca flask. There are cigars he's forbidden from smoking, so he tucks them away inside the pages of a legal brief where the nurse will never look. Every single kindness aimed at him, he treats as an enemy position to be outflanked. And then there's the Vole case. As it arrives, a murder case, exactly the kind of high-stakes, high-strain criminal work his doctors specifically told him to avoid. He takes it. Of course he takes it. He takes it because they told him not to. So what's underneath all this? Now, here's where I want to slow down, because the easy read in is this guy's just a stubborn old man, won't take his medicine, cute, funny, move on. But that's not what's happening here. And if you've ever cared for someone like this, or been someone like this, I'm looking at me, folks, you already know it isn't. Refusing care is almost never about the care. Sir Wilfrid is not stupid about his heart. He's a brilliant man. He knows exactly what the risks are. He can recite them better than his own doctor, and he refuses anyways, which means the refusal is doing some kind of work that the medicine simply cannot do for him. So, what's the work? For a man like this, a man whose entire identity is competence, being the sharpest one in the room, the one who acts becoming a patient is kind of a demotion from his self. To accept care is to accept that he is now a person things are done to, not a person who does. And that's unbearable. So he generally rather risk his life than become someone who needs minding. That's not irrational. That's a man defending who he believes he is. It's just dangerous in his case. Counselors will recognize this type immediately when sometimes we call it counterdependence. It's the person who experiences help as a threat. Concern is an insult. Care is control. Every gentle thing Nurse Plimsoll does, lands on him as an attack because the one thing he cannot tolerate is needing someone. And notice this is so often the person who spent their whole life being the strong one, the caregiver, the authority, the one who everybody else leaned on. Put that person on the receiving end of care, and they have no idea how to be there. It's foreign, it's humiliating, so they fight it. There's another piece here too. It's a clean one. Tell a man that he can't do something, and you've just made it the most attractive thing in the world. The forbidden case is irresistible precisely because it's forbidden. The prohibition itself creates the pull. Any one of us who's watched someone do the exact opposite of good advice the moment it was handed to them, as a rule, we know this one in our bones. So when Sir Wilfrid hides those cigars, understand what he actually is. It isn't appetite. It's a sentence. It says, I'm still myself. You do not own me. I decide. And here's the lesson I'd hang on the wall for anyone doing this work. When someone won't follow the orders are usually not the problem. The refusal is saying something. It's speaking about control, dignity, and fear. And the caregiver who only ever argues about the medication is losing the real conversation, because the real conversation was never about the medication. Which brings us to the thing underneath the thing. He just had a heart attack. To follow doctor's orders is to live every single day inside the knowledge that his own body can kill him at any moment. But to defy them, to sneak a cigar, to grab the case, to wave off the nurse for a few minutes, he doesn't feel like he's a dying man. He feels like himself again. The denial isn't foolishness. It's how he keeps death at an arm's length. That's where the comedy and the sorrow turn into the very same gesture. And this is the craft I want you to notice. Wilder dresses every bit of this as comedy. And that's not by accident. He knows that if he presented it straight as a portrait of a frightened man denying his own mortality, we would feel lectured. We'd look away. So he lets us laugh instead. And the truth slips in underneath the laughter. And we don't feel it land until later. And watch the props. Each object externalizes something happening on the inside. The flasks, the hidden cigars, but especially the stair lift. The machine built purely to help him that he treats as a humiliation. That one object holds the entire theme in your hand. Care offered, care resented. Right there, going up the stairs. Here's why this scene sticks with me. Because nearly all of us have either been in this with this patient or have been this patient. We've watched someone we care about refuse to help that would save them, and we've stood by baffled and angry asking why won't you just let us? And this scene answers it quietly underneath a joke. Refusing help is for a great many people a way of refusing to be diminished. And the ones who need it and need the care the most are often the very ones whose whole sense of self was built on never needing any. So just one honest note here. Let me be careful and clear about one thing before I close because it matters to me. I'm not diagnosing Sir Wilfrid. He doesn't have a disorder. What he has is a deeply human, deeply common relationship with his own vulnerability. The gift of this scene isn't, here's a condition to label. It's, here's a pattern that people who do this work meet all the time, rendered perfectly by a writer who understands people. That's the whole show, really, not diagnosing characters, just paying close attention to what movies get right about being a person. So that's my one scene. That's my standout scene for a mental health moment from Witness for the Prosecution. If you want to get a full review of the movie, look for it in our partner podcast, Fade to Chat, with Cindy Rotz and myself. One Scene and Fade to Chat is part of ThePodtalkNetwork. Thanks for watching closely, and see you next time.